Hello and welcome back to the channel. We've got another review, and this time it's the 172nd North American P51D Mustang, which is a new tool from Airfix. The kit number for this is A01004A. We've got some nice box art on the front. As Airfix box art goes, I quite like this one. I'm not a big fan of the big red border on it really, but I much like seeing the scene they've got on there, and that's a pretty nice scene. Yeah, I like that. So it's typical Airfix box really, nothing really on the sides. This is a skill level 1, and it's got 1 flying hour. And then on the back we've got the decal placement, paint schedule, which are Humbrol colours, and that's about it as far as the box goes. Just some information down the side for Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube and such like, and of course their cartograph decals. So that being said, let's get straight into the box and have a look what we've got inside. As usual, we'll do the instructions first, and then we'll come and look at the sprues after that. Now, I'm not sure, this should be the new type instruction booklet, but for some reason it isn't. Okay. It's a single piece fold out. So, a little bit of information on the P51D Mustang there, and the key of assembly options and so on. So it just unfolds into this one big sheet, and we start off with, just see where we are. We start off with the control panel going in there, and then we've got the center unit, the yoke flight control stick going in, plus the pilot seat, and then we've got some more stuff going on there. I'm not quite sure exactly what that is, but that builds up your sort of tub bit in the middle, and then the two cockpit, the two sprue halves come together. If you're using an aircraft stand, this is where you want to start thinking about inserting it here. Number 5 is the propeller going on. Number 7, we've got little, like a radiator underneath, like a chin. Wings going together, and then they're going on. Then you've got the rear sort of ailerons, is it, and the rudder at the back. I'm sure I got that one right. Flaps, there's one flapping, and various telling you there to set, what are we looking at there, telling us to set something at 75 degrees. Well, that's if you're having legs down. I think they're the wing flap, the door covers for the wings. Wheels going on, landing gear. Got some bombs going on there. Obviously, if you get a big question mark like that, that shows you it's optional. So in this case, it's showing us we can either have the cockpit closed or we can have it open. That's our two options. Again, got another option here for the driver. Where am I on the screen? You've got the driver, or you don't have the driver. I tend to not put the Airfix figures in, purely because I'm absolutely hopeless at painting figures that small, and it would just look something like you would get from a nursery child. In fact, mine would be worse. Then we've got on the back the decal placements, and that's about it really. Some blank paper on the back for some notes. That is that. So they're the instructions. Typical Airfix stuff really. Now these will be cartographed, and I already know before I look at them they're going to be fantastic. Let's have a go. And they don't disappoint. They really don't disappoint. Amazing. All in registry. All the colours are spot on. No blurriness to it. I mean, even this tiny writing is, you can see it, you can read it. It's that, you know, the quality is that good. Let's see if we can get, there we go. Much better quality. Yeah, they're nice them. So they're the decals. And then we're going to come and have a look at the sprues. I am a fan of, I know a lot of people don't like Airfix plastic. I do. I don't know why. Is it? I think I like the colour of it for a start. I like that sort of light bluey sort of grey. I like that. I like the fact that it's not too rigid. It's you know, it's soft, and it's easy to sort of glue together because it's sort of this soft plastic. It literally just melts together. It's like chocolate. It's great stuff. Obviously you can't eat it. There we go. Let's put that off to the side, and here we go. So I'm wondering if I can get in close using the I think I've put the control section away, and I don't think I can get it back out once it's... No, I can't. Webcam control. Although, hold on, might be able to. So, right, I'm going to try and zoom in on without moving the. So here we've got here we're looking at the wings. Let's just, the colour seems a bit off on this today for some reason. Let me turn that off a minute. So here we have the P51D Mustang. Is it the 41D? Did I read that right? 51D Mustang. And yeah, so looking at this now, we've got the traditional sort of Airfix panel lines in that they might be, I don't know, because I'm not an expert, but I know a lot of people say they're a bit too deep, the lines on Airfix, but I'll tell you what, I tend to think that yes, they may be a bit too deep, but once I've beginners and people that are not sort of professional have put some paint on and airbrushed a few layers or what have you, some of them trench lines, I have to call them trench lines, some of them panel lines are going to be lesser than they were when we started. I've got trench lines in my mind because I've seen a few reviews in which they've been called trench-like. Many a reviewer has sort of said Airfix's panel lines are trench-like, and I can understand what they're saying. But I don't mind. I guess is what I'm getting at. It's no big deal to me. They're not to the degree where I think, oh, I can't build that. In fact, there's a high level of detail goes into these. It's got to be said. I'll show you in a second. In fact, I'm just looking there. We've got the exhaust there. We've got the wheel covers there. I'm just trying to see what parts I can identify. And then we've got some internal detail on the wheel wells. So let's go straight in there and try and get see if I can put a little light on this. I don't want too much light because it blows it out. There we go. You can see the nice sort of lines on there, nice and crisp. They're not soft or anything like that. And then we're coming along to the other set. This is that was the top wing we just looked at there. You get there we go. There's the bottom one. That's where your wheels go. Wheel covers on the end there. We've got the exhaust stacks there, and then we've got the pilot on the end there, another one for the collection. Got to say the moulding has improved on the pilot. It is a lot better than they have been earlier on in Airfix's life. There we can see the internal detail of the wheel well, the exhaust stacks again. Coming along, I think we've got a bit of ribbing sort of detail. Did I see somewhere there? Yeah, just on this, is it an aileron? Got a bit of ribbing detail there. And then we've got some more wheel well detail the other side. There we go. with the wheel at the end, and what looked to be some sort of maybe a wheel cover of some sort. So, you know, nice moulding. Then we've got the fuselage halves, the cockpit elements, bombs, propeller, and landing gear. From my point of view, I'm just having a quick look over. Lots of panel lines on it. They'll take a nice wash day. Sorry about the banging. So we've got nice panel lines there. They'll take a nice wash. We've got some riveting detail going on there. Let me bring you in closer so you can see what I'm talking about. Nice lines there to put a panel wash on. And then we've got again some riveting detail. Just trying to riveting details sort of here and there. And we got the flaps, and then we've got the tub where the cockpit, the flight goes. We've got the chair, and the bombs there, and then we've got the propeller there. It's if I seem to be going all over the place, it's because the I've got one hand held up holding this sprue up against the webcam. I'm looking at the monitor and I'm navigating that way. It's quite difficult because everything's mirrored and it's the reverse, so if I want to go right on the screen, I actually have to go left on the with my hand. The only thing that remains the same is up and down, and you've really got to try and keep it quite steady because it goes in and out of focus then, which causes more problems. There we've got the bombs there, which are two-piece. They'll need seams taken care of. And we've got the landing gear just in here. And then we'll just have a flip over, a quick look on the other side. They've got some nice internal detail here on the fuselage, some nice wall detail going on. I've got to say I'm impressed with that. They've really done a good job there. Take the time to weather that properly and paint it up properly, and that'll look just really good in there. I've got to say, well done Airfix, I'm impressed with that. I'm easily impressed. No. And then we've got, I'm noticing on the wheels there's a nice tread pattern, and they're weighted. Yes, they are weighted at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. Let me try and get that into... So it's very subtle. At the bottom there, there's a slight flat bulge at the base, and there's a lovely tread on them. If I can get you, can you see the tread on them? Let's try and get my... Anyway, there is a tread there. I don't know if that's managed to come through or not. And then we've obviously got where the pilot sits, and there's some little columns there that obviously you could paint up. So as far as the kit goes, I would say this is certainly one of the best 1/72nd scale Airfix kits I've ever seen. I'm very impressed with it. I mean, I got this, I bought this through Mike Jolly. I think I paid just £5 for it. That was posted. I did buy a few at the same time, but I know that Airfix recently had a sale on, and you could get this for as little as £4. I'm sure the Mustang was one of the ones that was on offer at the time. You cannot beat that at that price. Even if you paid £8 for that, that would be an amazing kit when it's built up. Put the effort in. Don't just try and rush through it just because it's a 1/72nd kit and try and dismiss it as a cheap, quick kit. You know, you could take your time. You could really work wonders with this, and I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do it. This is not going to be a vanilla build. I had got it put down to be a vanilla build, but now I've seen the kit, I just really want to, you know, put some effort into this, get it weathered up, go bare metal finish with it, because it would look rather stunning. So, with that said, that's the P51D Mustang from Airfix. A big thumbs up from me, and all I can say is thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already, and bye for now.